I'm live. I'm just staring at the phone like I don't know what is going on. Go. All right. I'm going to share the link and take some questions. All right. Here we go. Copy link. Here we go. It has been a rough weekend. Discord. All right. What is this? You are nothing. Okay. All right. Oops. I did not mean to do that. Let's open that one. Wow. Hello, everyone. Usually I turn around and there's still no one here. Hi. You're here this week. Yay. Kathy, Kimmy, Dale, Franco, Alex. Hello, hello, hello. I am not going to be here most of this week. I'm sorry. I thought I would be able to do it, but I have a client. I have a relatively new client who's going through a new launch, and they need me to help them kind of like monitor their comments during this launch. And they're doing it live in front of their community, and it's, you know, it's great and it's wonderful and I love it. However, it's also scheduled from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So, and I was like, well, in the afternoons we can. And they went, afternoons? They went, won't you be here to I need you here for the actual launch. I'm like, oh, is that what we're doing? Okay, come on down. Hurry up, jump. So, hello. Hi, Ember. You got your name fixed. So anyway, yeah. So Tuesday, the next couple of weeks actually are just going to be a little bit wild. Hang on. Let me adjust my feet. She's like, I want down now. Anyway, the next couple of weeks are going to be kind of wild because, you know, holidays. Mother-in-law gets here Wednesday. What are you oh, the cat. The other cat. Oh my gosh. Everything is wrong. You're making this so hard, cat. One cat's on my lap, just like, stop annoying me. The other cat's like down by my feet going, why are you trying to adjust anything? I purposely rested my butt on your tripod. Anyway, so what I was saying, so my schedule for the next few weeks is going to be kind of crazy. And I'm trying to make sure that I should be able to go live most days outside of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. Most of the rest of the days, I've managed to keep everything up in like the afternoon areas so that it doesn't interfere too much with this. But I'm giving you warning ahead of time that I have no control. Christmas next week. Yeah. And so many of my clients are trying to do like last minute Christmas launches, New Year's launches, resolutions launches. Y'all got to remember, most of my clients are like business owners and social media marketing, like coaches and stuff. And so what they're doing is they're trying to like, finish the year strong challenges that go with their book launches. It's great. And or let's get ready for next year, which is also great, but it's all crammed into like this 1 week and a half. Cats are hard on their owners, right? You hear that? I think that means you should be nicer. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that's what they meant. Good morning, Seisha. Maybe I can get my routines back now you have found your live on YouTube. I wonder if I did-ish. I'm still on TikTok, kind of, but not as much. It's not as fun of a platform anymore for me. And YouTube, like, we went back and forth a little bit on should I move to YouTube for the lives or not? Ultimately, it's a lot easier to save the lives on YouTube. That was the actual deciding factor, was the fact that I could save the lives on YouTube. It can be here. So anyone who missed a live, who might want to just watch one, could. And in TikTok, I could save the lives. Like I can save them and then therefore re-upload them somewhere else. But it was such a horribly manual process. And it was so hard and just tedious and hard to do. And it took up all of my phone's memory and it was so hard. There were a couple other things too. The screen is a little bit cleaner because you don't have all the enter this contest here, subscribe here, do this, do this. I mean, I'm sure you deal down at the bottom, but it's not covering the whole screen and stuff. It's just better. Think you're going to make your release date the 30th? Nice. Nothing new December, though. Yuki took a tiny chunk out of her face. Oh, no! What did she do? Franco with the pink eye. Hello. What? Just because I stopped petting you so I could wave at Franco and give my shocked face to Seisha? Did you hear her? They want to see the floof. Come here. Look. Ow, ow, claws. Cat. I am not, like, why? Why? She was running and lost her footing. Aw. Ow. Ooh, Piper's done that before. Not to compare your dog with my kid, but Piper did that when she was about 3-ish. We were still living in New Mexico, and she was running around from her room to the front room, and her room was on, like, there was a kitchen in the middle, and she went running through, and she just right to the corner of one of the cabinets. It looked so bad. It looked so bad. Hi. Whip done and getting ready to send to editor, taking a short break, then getting my Tooth Fairy project on the front burner. Nice. Judith, that's amazing. Good morning, Jessica. Hi, Farah. Oh, that reminds me, for those of you who are in, I know this is the other Jessica. But for those of you who were in the anthology, I talked to Jessica and I said, hey, so now that you're, how's your brain? And now that you're feeling better, can we get the anthology back out again? Like, everyone's really understanding and no one has yelled at me or been mean. But, we did promise this anthology, and can we get that out? And she was like, oh my God, it fell out of my head. So she is finishing her story. And we're getting that back on the front burner. We're going to do a soft launch with it so that we can get it out because of the exclusivity clauses and stuff. So we're going to do a soft launch, get it out. We're going to buy you your copies so that you have it. And then we're going to plan like a big launch with it out post, like when it makes more sense. So letting you know that is the current news on the anthology as of right now. Taking a break from writing. Lost my entire book the other day. Oh my goodness, my eyes. Saw my eyes out. Couldn't recover it. It is what it is, and hoping my notes will be enough to redo it. Not starting till next year. Pepper, that is so hard. That has happened to me. That is so hard. I like to say that the next time around it's going to be even better, because almost every time it is. Almost every time. The parts that you can't remember, you end up filling in the gaps with stuff that's better. But it is still so hard to go through, and I'm so sorry. Yay! Yay! Don't worry. The yay is for the anthology, not for your lost book. Unless she's also cheering for the new book that's going to be better than your lost book. I went and rewrote my superhero book and landed up with 20,209 words just yesterday. Feel guilty that it wasn't my newsletter. You should feel guilty that it wasn't your newsletter. No, I'm kidding. No. Why? I mean, you don't have to feel guilty about that. But you know what? Take a couple paragraphs here or there. What could you add to your newsletter about it? I have a question. What is a short story? Are they just ebook form or are they actual physical prints? They can be physical prints. Nowadays. They can be physical prints. I think the minimum KDP will let you publish as like an actual paperback is like 40 pages, I think. And even then, I have seen books. Oh, where's my silver one? Hang on. Oh, I bet it's upstairs. I have seen books that are fewer than 40 pages. We're going to check my thwackers. Thwacker is 39 pages. Oh, sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. I just got you right in the eyeball, huh? Yes, I'm so sorry. You hate my voice. It's okay. All right, 39 pages. And that includes the title page, the epigraph, the dedication page, and there's like blank pages on the other sides of those. So there's like a page in between. And then on the back is the copyright and ISBN and the about the author. So when you take away those, it's like 36 pages, I guess. And the other one, 35 pages to start, and then same front matter and back matter. Those are short stories. A full-length book is anything over 40,000 words. Now, there are different sweet spots. Different genres prefer different things. Certain readers prefer different things. Fantasy readers have a tendency to like the really thick, big books, right? Romance tend to like average size, about 70,000 words or so. So part of what people think of when they think of a full-length book depends on what their genre is and what their expectations are. But in the industry, anything over 40,000 words is considered a full-length book. Anything under 40,000 words is considered a short story. But nowadays with KDP and NaNoWriMo throwing in the word novella and like a bunch of other stuff, it's pretty much like a short book is going to be somewhere around, 10,000 words, which equals out to about 40 pages ish. And I'm pretty sure that's the minimum that you can do. Sorry for entering late and being off topic. Do not ever apologize for asking me a question. Farah, I have this one zit right here that is just bugging me. So I'm sorry if I keep touching it. It's just like, it's just bugging me. Anyway, Farah, no, you do not have to apologize for coming in late. It's just drop in and out as you can, and you never have to apologize for asking a question. Pepper Sarah K. Pellman had her car stolen with the only copy of her manuscript back in the typewriter days. Oh my gosh. I tried to have a backup, but it didn't back up properly. Pepper, we all have a horror story like that. We all have it. We all have lost something that we thought was backed up, that we thought was saved. And for some reason, technology let us down at the worst possible time, and we've lost a few hundred words to entire novels. It's honestly, there's even, yeah, you can't even blame like internet technology all the time or saves, because it happens to people when they're like handwriting and all of a sudden their littles come over and start like editing and like crossing out all kinds of stuff or using the pages to like color on and then throwing them away or whatever. Like, we've all lost words. I did the character profiles on top of the book, so I have those ready to go. Nice. Why are they so popular? Is there a particular genre people are getting? Is it for teens, kids, adults? I was curious because I saw a group of short story writers and I didn't get the lure. Just people who prefer short stories, I think. I prefer young adult fiction books, just never enjoyed the style of the other fiction short story. Pepper, it's happened to me more times than I can say. I'm sorry, but you can do it. Take the break, get the emotions in place, then rah, rah, rah. Yep. It's the Southern lady in me. I'll do better. I lost everything when my computer crashed. I feel your pain. I've had 35,000 words trapped in an old computer that I saved to hard drive and hadn't saved to a cloud. Swear I'm going to get a typewritten and then a scanner. You can find typewriters pretty cheap now on eBay. Like even the old vintage ones. I don't know if you can see mine up there. But they have I say vintage. It's weird calling the 80s vintage. But they have like the electric typewriters that were really popular in like the 70s and 80s, right before computers came out. Like right before personal computers came out, I should say, not because computers were already around. But anyway, they have those, I want to say, for like $70 or $80. Like, they're not cheap, but they're not like prohibitively expensive either. And then they have some of the other vintage ones from like the 40s and 50s, some electric. That one is not electric, but they do have electric typewriters that are $100 to the $200 mark. And then you get into the more vintage ones from like the 30s, and they're like $300, I think, on average. The hardest part is finding one with reasonable shipping because typewriters are expensive. I mean, they're heavy, so they're expensive to ship. And so you end up with all of these vendors who are trying to sell their typewriters, but they have to balance out, like, are they paying for the shipping? Then they add it into the pricing, or you got, so but it's expensive to ship a typewriter. Started out writing out pulp magazines, then expanded the phase. This is why I write longhand. Technology can't be trusted. Neither can pens or pencils. They actually brought back typewriters now. Has the ink tape too. I know. I need to get some ink for that one because I have the original spools that are all dried out. But I saw on Amazon, I saw spools, so I was like, I'm pretty sure I can get that one working. Oh, I love that you whispered men either. Oh, I said pens, but but I mean I saw an e-notebook that you can write in like Etch-a-Sketch. Ooh. You like the sounds of a typewriter? Certain ones, yes. Especially if you're like in a rhythm. If you go typewriter, you have to go rhythm. You don't try to go fast. You don't, you can't do finger typing. You learn touch typing and you go rhythm. You have to aim for the rhythm. Otherwise, it's annoying to hear, not. I think I'm going to do that. Hubby thinks it's overkill, but I'm going to be scared by it. No trust. It's gone, right? They're too loud for you. Some of them can be very loud. My OCD would be extreme if I messed up on a typewritten document. Typewriters, if you get especially the electric typewriters, like they have a backspace. And what it is, it's a different kind of tape, right? So they have the ink tape, which is like a carbon tape. And then what it does is like the little metal plate that has the letter on it slams forward into the carbon that prints it onto the page, right? That leaves that imprint on the page. And so as you're typing, the rhythm of the night, the ribbon advances forward when the plate goes back down, right? But then they have a white tape. Some of them, not every typewriter has this, but they have a white tape that goes across. So if you make a mistake and you hit the backspace, it pulls up the white tape and slams up the same key. So it slams the white directly over where it slammed the ink in the first place. Freudian slip of the ear. I used to have a typewriter. My mom wouldn't let me use the PC. This was early 2000s. My English teacher looked at me like I was crazy. Oh no. The gasp you just gasped. Yeah, some of the ones that came out in the 70s and 80s. So don't go earlier than there. But the ones that came out in the 70s and 80s, and if they're making new ones, I honestly don't know if anyone's making new typewriters, although I imagine that they are because they're so popular right now. But they'll have the backspace key that will be able to undo now. What it cannot do is you're reading the paper and you realize that a paragraph up you made a mistake. Like you can hit backspace and it's up to like 10 spaces or something like that, and after that it's like I don't freaking know what you did. And if you hit backspace, it'll slam up the same key. So you have to know that you screwed up before you can hit the backspace. But if you don't notice, then you wouldn't have to worry about triggering anything in your brain because you didn't notice anyway. So I have an old Underwood, but the ribbon is rotted and reel is stuck. Not sure how much it will cost to fix, but I have an onion skin paper for it and really want to play with it. Ooh. How do you choose just one story? I don't think you have to. I do it because at the time that I'm trying to work on a story, I cannot type into two different stories at the same time. Like, even if I wanted to, even if I opened up both documents on my computer at the same time, and I got a pretty big screen, I could do it. Even if I opened up two documents at the same time, I can still only type into one. Only one can be active at a time. So just physically, I cannot work on more than one story at a time. Now, I can do a little bit of bouncing. I've got client stories, I've got my stories. So there are times when I'm working on a client story, and there are times when I am working on my story, just never at the same time. And whatever story I'm working on, that's the story I'm surrounding myself with. So, like, for myself right now, I'm working on a science fiction story that has to deal with a little bit of time travel and the idea that someone has gone back into time to fix a mistake, but by doing so, my main character is being erased. So she's trying to figure out who's doing it so she can stop them, basically. It's based on, the idea came to me on an old Star Trek The Next Generation episode. It started off the one where Dr. Crusher feels like the universe is disappearing and everyone's forgetting who she's talking to and things like that. Like, that's what started this idea as I went down this road. So when I am working on my story, or when I want to work on my story, I pull that up on Paramount and I watch that episode, or I'll watch the episodes leading up to it. I'll go to YouTube and I'll watch the reviews of that episode. I'll grab my Energized coffee mug. I surround myself literally with reminders of that. And if for some reason that's not quite enough, I do my other time travel things. Like, I have doctors and I have adipose up there, and like I got my TARDIS up there, like, and other things. I surround myself with physical and virtual reminders of what I want to work on, so that I'm constantly feeling inspired by the things I love to work on that one. And then if I know, like, okay, well, tomorrow I got to work on this book, and I'm writing a book on YouTube for my client who does YouTube. Okay, well, then tonight I'm going to start flipping things out. So in the morning when I come down, instead of all my time travel stuff, I'm going to be I'm going to have my YouTube pins and YouTube channels up on my desktop and on my TV. I've got the YouTube streaming, and I'll set it to one of their channels and I'll immerse myself in that. Total immersion. Hello, Erica. You remember that episode? It was such a good episode, right? It's one of my favorites. Use the Notes app a lot to scan Google Docs and save into folders, backed into iCloud. I keep running out of room. Too many words. You do, miss. It'll make your BlackBerry. They do make new typewriters in pink and mint green. Oh, I want a pink typewriter. I just finished my final draft for first novella and ready for an editor. I'm new to your group. How do I find editors for erotic romance? Well, first off, Erica, yay! Congratulations on finishing your book. That's amazing. Okay, so there are a couple of editors in here, including myself. Actually, are there any in here right now? No, but in my group there are. Okay, so how do you go finding an editor? So there's a few different ways that you can do it. Number one, you can just hit the internet and do, actually, no, wait. Number one, you can go into any of your writers groups. I'm assuming you're in a writers group. You can go in there and just say, hey, I'm ready for an editor. Does anyone know an editor for erotic romance, right? And the reason I like that method is because they're vouching for their editor, right? Authors, we love to share our resources. I gotta move you, cat. I'm so sorry, but my legs are falling asleep and I just can't hold on to you anymore. Okay, baby? All right. Yeah, I know. Go. Good job. Whew. Anyway, sorry. Ugh. Oh yeah, we love to share resources and brag on our people. So any authors who have worked with an editor that they like, when they see that post, they're going to comment. They're going to be like, oh my God, this person. And then more than likely, they are also going to tag that editor into that post. So you'll be able to right away find the editor. Now, in that case, if you do that, what I would do is pull up a spreadsheet and start like inputting the data. So you go, okay, editor name, check out their profile, try to find their website, try to find their pricing, try to find whatever you can on them. And then in the referred by column, put that author and then rate, like, how well do you know that author? Have you read their books before? Have you seen this editor in action? In that way, you know, whatever, but like give yourself a rating scale of trustworthiness. Like, okay, like I don't know this author at all and I've never read any of their books, so 2 out of 10. Versus, oh, I talk to this author all the time, I've read all their books and they're saying this editor is the only editor they hire. 10 out of 10, right? On a how well do you know kind of scale. So that's one thing you can do. Then go through and contact the editors you are thinking you would like to work with. The other thing you can do beyond that is you can hit Google. Now, if you hit Google, there's a couple of things, because Google is overrun by like Fiverr, Upwork, freelancer.com, and things like that. And that's not to say that the editors there don't do a good job. However, those sites are not set up with the tools that you need to help you find a good editor. Like what's going to end up happening is you're going to go into those sites, you're going to like on Fiverr, you're going to like start searching for an editor and you're going to get flooded with all kinds of people, and you're not going to be able to tell the difference. You're not going to be able to tell like who's good, who's not, who actually has the experience, anything like that. You're just going to be overwhelmed with a sea of editors who all look the same. And you're going to be, none of them are competing. They have no mission. They have no, like nothing that helps any of them stand out except price. That's the one thing they all try to stand out on, is by underbidding, which is great if you're on a budget, but still does not help you find the best one for your book. So if you hit Google, skip page 1, go straight to like page 2, page 3, and that's where you're looking for the independent editors. The ones that have their own site up, and or the ones that are using like LinkedIn as a site where they have like a really good profile on LinkedIn. They are getting indexed. They're just not outranking Fiverr. And even if they tell you, like if you go and you contact them and they say, oh yeah, go hire me, here's my profile on Fiverr, that's great, go hire them on Fiverr, like yay. Yee. However, if they have their own website, there's a really good chance that they also have good contracts, a good business setup, that they've already gone through some of this stuff and they're not reliant on Fiverr to go through all of that stuff, which can get hairy as well. So those are the 2 things that I would do to start. You are my favorite writer. I want your book for Christmas. Aw, thank you so much. You know what? Send me your email address and I will buy you my ebook for Christmas. That will be my gift to you. I need a happy ending. Modern Romeo and Juliet. Star-crossed lovers that are not crossed. I have to run the plotting workshop room. Ow! Last one of the year. Yee! Last one on Clubhouse for you. Yee! Almost there. Almost there. Using my writers group is a good idea. Please, Kitty, please. I don't have the... You're like, I just want to lay down. That happened to me in Twitter. It was overwhelming, and I hadn't even started my book. It's... Ow! Well, honey. Okay, could you just lay down? Please. I love my cats. I love my cats. But sometimes you get so mean. I need to save up for a real editor. Do save, Ember. Do save. I would say a good starting point to save. Hang on. I got to move this cat. I'm going to put her on her bed. Come here. Oh, you're purring so loud for someone who's so mad at me. Here you go. There you go. And I say put her in her bed. What I mean is that my coat, which has like one of the like Sherpa fluffy interiors, is open on the sofa and she's curled up in it. That's what I mean by her bed. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, saving up for an editor. So yeah, I would say 5 cents per word. If you aim for that, you're going to be able to afford almost any editor out there. Because even really good ones are starting to do discounts, especially at the end of the year. I'm seeing more and more and more who are, for the developmental edits, they only charge between 5 and 8 cents per word. And then the line edits or the copy edits, they usually only charge like 3 cents per word. And that's for the good editors. So if you try to budget or you aim your budget for about 5 cents per word, depending on the type of edit you want, you'll be able to be like, this is like, I can definitely get any editor I want for the most part. Like, don't go, aiming for the editor to the stars, but you know what I mean? Like, it puts you in a really good position to be able to get pretty much any editor. How do you get the story idea to stick? I'm always having to restart. Same thing, immersion. I just surround myself with it. I usually start off with a good brain dump document. Also, I do now do your setup the way that best fits for you. For me, like, I start off with my kind of like my high concept, whatchamacallit, like idea brain dump, where I'm like, oh, what if this happened and this happened and then this happened and blah, blah, and it's just like this high concept kind of thing with no details. It's just an idea. And then I'll start breaking that down into an outline in this same document. So I don't open up a whole new document to start breaking that down into anything. I just do it right there so I can go back and forth. And I do this in Google Docs where I have the outline so I can just like hit it on the outline table of contents, the links on the side there, where I can just hit it right there. So I can go back and forth as I need to. And then I'll put together like kind of a brief storyline. This happens and this happens and this happens, where I just kind of pants through what my milestones are. And then I'll take those milestones and what happened and who did this. Oh, and then she found out this happened and then they did this and then they got here. That's what I'll take to build my actual outline. And again, it's all in the same document. Kitty, yes. Cat demanding affection from its human, right? And now she's mad at me. Now she's like looking at me with the side eye. Oh, let me check something real quick. It probably doesn't matter. Oh my God, I am pretty sure that Amazon is broken, by the way. I mean, we already knew that. We already knew that. But, so, the kids have spirit weeks, right? 3 spirit weeks for December. It was, well, no, yeah, December. Okay, so instead of uniforms, they get to wear whatever that, theme of that day is. So over the weekend, I was trying to make sure that they had the stuff that they needed for this coming week. So Friday is ugly sweater / Christmas sweater day. Okay, like, all right. So, and they've already worn some of their, because there was wear bright colors, sparkle day, green Grinch, red day, holiday shirt day, snowman day. So they've already used some of their worn some words today. They've already worn some of their holiday shirts, right? So I was trying to make sure that first off I did the laundry, but also okay, I'll look for ugly sweaters for them. I did a search on Amazon I started with kids ugly Christmas sweater. That's what I started with. And all kinds of ugly sweaters came up. And then I went to the side where you could select sizing and stuff, or the department, and I hit girls clothing or girls fashion, one of the two. Right? So girls. I did not hit women's. I hit girls. Now, in my mind, for a retail website, there's a big difference between girls and women as far as age things, right? So between the search for kids and then the category girls, I expected some age-appropriate Christmas sweaters. Do you think I found? No, I did not find any age-appropriate sweaters. I was like, what is this? I took a screenshot and I sent it to some of my friends because I was like, oh yeah, no one will have any problem at all. There was one where it was the sweater, it was a full sweater, but half of it was flesh colored. By flesh colored, I mean my flesh colored with a pasty on it. What? Why is that coming up in a search for kids ugly sweaters in the girls sizing? Why is that even coming up? I need to do better with talking about my books on TikTok. I'm bad at... No, honey, no. Ow, ow. Lay down. Lay butt down. I need to do better with talking about my books on TikTok. I'm bad at not giving spoilers, though. Okay, so spoilers are anything, obviously, that if they knew about it ahead of time, it would ruin the book rather than enhance the book. So, Ember, think movie trailers. When we go to the movies, or when we used to go to the movies, are movies still a thing? I don't know. But when we used to go to the movies, right? At the beginning of the movie, there would be the 10 or 15 minutes or whatever of trailers. And those trailers were years off. But they showed the best scenes. Now, the further out the movie was, the shorter the trailer. It would sometimes just be 1 or 2 sentences, and then it would say something coming 2032 or whatever, right? But as we got closer and closer and closer and closer, more and more scenes from the movie were fed into those trailers. And they always, excuse me, and they always contained the best one-liners, the best scenes, the best conversation or dialogue. They always showed like the protagonist being knocked down. They always showed the protagonist getting back up. Like they showed all the best parts of the movie, short of the actual plot twist. Right? Like short of the actual like, oh, here's the plot twist, but they get really close to it, to where when you're watching the movie, because those are the things that made us go to the movie. And as we go to the movie, our brains go, that's that scene. That's the scene. That's the scene I came here for. And then when the plot twist is revealed, we go, ah, that's what they were talking about in the trailer. Like we recognize it and we make that cross-reference with the trailer and it works out great. The time that it spoils things are, you know, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but like, Darth Vader. Okay, spoiler alert if you have not watched the original the original trilogy of Star Wars since the 70s, okay? I apologize. But I think 60 years you can watch it by now. Anyway, so when Darth Vader revealed that he was Luke Skywalker's father, at the time, there was a huge plot twist that threw us all for a loop. We were all like, oh, what? Right? That was a huge thing. Nowadays, if you tell someone ahead of time, oh yeah, Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father, even though it might not ruin the whole movie, they don't have that reaction anymore. Those are spoilers. But your best joke, your best one-liner, put them out there because those are the things that are going to make people want to read your book. Cats don't play about their wants or needs, right? I have started using whiteboards like you do to connect the dots because my brain dump then erase what I don't like. Whiteboards, I'm telling you, whiteboards are it. I need to do better with talking. Oh, I have dyslexia. Any tips on how to still write a book? Okay, for dyslexia, first, if you can, I would go with dictation over typing. I would go with dictation and I would turn off the grammar checkers until after the fact and spell checkers, like all of those little AI helpers. I would turn them off. And depending on what you use, I just use my phone and I do not have dyslexia. But I do dictation. It's not a good phrase. I'm sorry. Anyway, I do dictation. I just use Google Docs on my phone and I just use the little microphone at the bottom when you hit the microphone. The thing is, it feels weird. It took me about 6 weeks of like a concerted training myself method to be able to teach myself how to use dictation because you have to speak differently than you just normally speak. When I'm normally talking, I get very passionate and sometimes my words like just fly out, not to mention the accent or whatever. Sometimes though, I'll be like, and then what was I saying? Or even here, I will interrupt myself and be like, words are not working. Things along those lines. You have to train yourself to not do those things and instead to speak very steadily and slowly and enunciate your consonants and your vowels. And it just needs to be very steady. And then you actually have to put in the punctuation, which is one of the hardest things. Now, I ended up getting so good at it because I took all this time to train myself on it. My kids, when they started learning how to talk, they were learning with punctuation. Like they were adding in commas and periods. It was kind of funny. But that takes weeks because it's a whole new way of speaking. But that's what I would do if I had dyslexia. And I'm already doing dictation, but that's what I would do, would be to rely on the dictation instead, because the dictation software doesn't have the same struggles with transposing letters. So you're going to end up with fewer edits to make at the end. And the reason I would take off the spell checkers and the grammar checkers is because those little squiggly lines just call your attention and make you feel like you made a mistake, even if you didn't. So that's what I would do. The hard part is, depending on your story, like if you're writing fantasy, a lot of the fantasy names, obviously you're not going to be, the dictation is not going to pick them up. So in that case, what I would do is create a document with all of your names for your book that has the correct spelling. So you have them all, and then go into your phone and go into the settings and the keyboard replacements, where like if you type XXA, then it'll replace it with whatever the name is that's associated with that, and put all of your character names. So as you're dictating and you go, and then XXA, good, said that they were going, and like just keep going like that. Again, it's going to feel weird and it'll take several weeks of practice. It'll feel like you're not getting anywhere. Because it's maddening how uncomfortable it is to write like that. But at the same time, like what helped me was the fact that, because I tried it multiple times. I tried dictation, didn't like it. It was just faster for me to get onto the computer. And I tried it again and I didn't like it. Same thing, faster to get on the computer. And then someone said, well, it's kind of like learning to write with your non-dominant hand. And that's when it like finally clicked in my brain that, okay, yeah, I'm trying to learn how to use my brain in a different way. But once you get there, it'll be so much easier. And the dyslexia will still come through, but you're not going to feel as burdened with it during the creative process. You might feel it during the editing process, but that's okay. That's what editing is for. But it's it's really cumbersome when you're trying to be creative and dyslexia is coming through. So you can kind of like sideswipe it with dictation. No spoilers. Can't find any appropriate clothes for me, so I imagine it'll be a lot harder for the kids. Cool, thank you. Gotta have a hook. Oh, I missed something important. Hi, Kathy. We were talking about how to make it easier to write with dyslexia. How you come up with names, name generators, baby name books. Now I have lists, okay? I have lists. So I have a couple of different lists. I have female names, male names, and non-binary names. And they're like 10 names on each that are fairly generic. And when I'm writing, now I do a lot of planning ahead of time. So for the most part, I know a lot of the characters that are going into before I start writing, but not always. And when I was pantsing, I struggled. So while I'm writing, I just grab the top name of the list and I need a girl name. Here we go. And I just keep going. And then when I'm done writing and I'm ready to like move into whatever, if I'm editing or if I'm ready to move into research or whatever, then I can go, now let me pick the perfect name. And then I can put together whatever the perfect name is. And I'll just switch it out. So that way, trying to find a name doesn't completely derail me while I'm writing. For fantasy, a couple of things that have worked for me in the past is like, this is going to sound ridiculous, but after hours sitting at a generator going, no, I don't like that. No, I don't like that. No, I don't like that. Even the ones that like generate like 50 at a time and I'm like scanning going, no, I don't like any of these. Another thing that sometimes work is like looking around the house and finding like just a generic, table for example, and then I'll run it through like Google Translate to find like, say, the Irish word for it or something, and then I'll transpose a couple of letters around until it looks kind of like a name. And so it started as English table, but then it ended as something else. I'll just do something like that. Or I'll take a whole different word, like one of my names for my D&D characters. I use Camelea. I use it all the time. And it's not even a name. It's what's her name? What was her name? What was her name? The female Gelfling on the original Dark Crystal. That's what she was yelling at the end when she was like calling for everyone to help her. She was going, Camelea. That's where I got that. It's not even a name. I was just like, I like it as a name. Baby names search. Yeah, just get ready for lots of expectant mother ads on Facebook, but that's okay. Variant meanings, pick according. Nameberry. Speaking of non-binary, I created a non-binary character back in junior high without realizing. Their name was Sam. Now I know what non-binary is. This character makes so much more sense. Nice. All right, y'all. It is 10 o'clock. Oh, it's snowing outside. It is 10 o'clock. So, Kylie, email me or message me and send me your email. My email is naomi@helpmenaomi.com. So send that to me, okay? Everyone else, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Office hours will be in about 25 minutes. For those of you who are in Word, watch for the link. I'm going to try to be on time this time. I'll be honest. Past few times I've been late, it's just because I got like sucked into a whole other project and I, tunnel vision. Yeah. All right. So that's it. Y'all I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Have an amazing day. I will be back on Friday. Go get all the words written. I'll see you Friday. Okay? Bye.